Hey everybody. Today I want to do a review. I've been using this tent. It's called the ZPacks Duplex. I've been using it for months now. I used it almost 1,000 miles on the AT. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I intend to bring it on the PCT with me, and if I have to replace it at some point, I will. But let's go outside. It's a nice sunny day. Let's get it set up. Let's go over some of the pluses and minuses of it. It's a great tent, but it has certain things you may want to know about. I mean, these are important things. Anyway, let's go get it. Okay, so we're outside with this tent. I brought along just for you to see. I'm not going to use them today. Because I feel as though we should show you with the trekking poles. You can buy these carbon fiber tent poles. If you do not use trekking poles and you still want to put this tent up and use it, you can do that. I forgot how much these are. I think they're 49 bucks a pair, and they're great. I used them for a while because I didn't use trekking poles. Then I switched back to trekking poles and I just kept them. So this tent weighs 18.5 ounces. It fits in a 10 liter stuff sack on its own, which is also Dyneema. This tent is Dyneema. It's a single wall tent. If you buy it in spruce green, spruce green, dirt, or white, it's 20.5 ounces, so it's a little heavier. Exterior dimensions: peak height 48 inches, ridgeline width is 53 inches, not including the vestibules. Width including vestibules is 86.5. Vestibule space 20.75, 53 centimeters depth on each side, 20.75 inches. Length is 100 inches. Interior dimensions: peak height 48 again. Floor width 45 inches, so you can fit two 20-inch wide pads in there. Pretty good sleeping pads, right? Floor length 7.5 feet, which is great. Gives you enough room so that your sleeping bag, your quilt's not touching the wall of the tent. Floor area 28.1 square feet, 2.6 square meters. Zipper entry height 36 inches, so you're going to have to be 3 feet or lower to get in this thing. Pack dimensions 6 inches by 12 inches tall, 340 cubic inches. Oh, it's 5.6 liters. Sorry, this stuff sack's 5.6 liters. So anyways, yeah, it's an intentionally loose stuff sack for that reason. So let's set this up with the trekking poles and have a look at it, and I'll show you around. Also, I might mention that if you're getting one, set your trekking poles to 122 centimeters. That should do it. That's what the suggested height is. I have put it down to 120 so that everything sits down lower to the ground, so in a rainstorm or something. But the condensation's pretty bad when you do that, because you're not really getting the ventilation that you want, So anyways, I'll be right back. Okay, so as you can see, it's not really big, like we talked earlier. It's 45 inches across the bathtub floor. The vestibules make it look a little bigger than it really is, but that's a good thing. You want that. This tent will sit around 6 to 8 inches above the ground when it's properly set up at 122 centimeters. I did set it up with the trekking poles. I didn't use the little poles that I had. If you come around here, you'll see that it has nice little tie-outs for the door. I left one open and one closed purposely. One's flapping here. These just attach down to a little hook there, and they'll stay out like that. So you can have 3 closed and 1 open if you like. If you look inside, first thing you're going to notice is a lot of screening, a lot of mesh. It's very fine mesh. But it's quite durable. I've used this tent for over 1,000 miles now, and I have not one hole. This tent is in perfect shape. I don't see a hole in it anywhere. So it's a rainbow zipper, 2 sides. You zip it up on here. It goes right up like this, and it lifts up. Why they did that, I don't know, but I like it. I really do like it. If you come inside, it's quite spacious. The screening again goes all around and along the ends. So there are these little tie points here, for those that don't know, that could pull up the bathtub floor a little, so that the screen goes on an angle this way, so it's facing down. That way when the water comes down outside, it gets to the edge, it just falls off. It doesn't run down the screen and inside. Floating bathtubs, so this can move around. Like I said, 2 nice little, well, they're not little, actually they're quite big pockets on each side, because this is a 2-person tent. Also 2 doors, like I said. I love this tent. It's a thicker Dyneema bathtub than what's on the outside walls. This particular model is 18.5 ounces, so just over a pound. I used the Ultiplex, it was 15.2, so there's 3 ounces difference there. And believe me, for me at least, that 3 ounces was worth it. Going to a 2-person tent, but that's something you have to decide for yourself. There are other tents, single-person tents, but not this one. This model does not have a single-person. There is no single-person model for the duplex. That's why it's called a duplex. It's not a triplex. There are other tents. Anyway, that's all I'm saying. So this tent has been quite durable, although I don't expect to get much more life out of them than, say, like they say on a website, like 2,500 miles of a through hike. That would be a good lifespan, they're saying. This is ZPacks talking. I have not had any issues. I have no holes anywhere in this tent at all. Of course, mine is a little different material. We noticed that when I got mine, and my family and I set up our tents beside each other. My tent, this particular one, seems to be a much thinner material than all the others in my family. And there were 3 others in my family that had this tent. Little Chap, Fox, and Roadrunner. They all had this tent. And both Little Chap and Fox had the heavier versions, the 20, what is it? 21.5 ounces, something like that. I think it's 3 ounces more for the heavier material. And I didn't notice any difference in performance. So I really, honestly, I don't see it unless you're really finicky about seeing a silhouette of a person inside. That's neither here nor there, I suppose. Out on trail, it doesn't matter much because you're usually pitched. Nobody cares. You're all hikers, right? So I do love this tent. I do recommend this tent. It has to be taken care of, definitely. I wouldn't say it's fragile, but it's, it's just the way you handle Dyneema, I think, is something you need to consider. If you want a tent that lasts a lifetime, don't buy Dyneema. I mean, that's just a fact. You pay extra for the Dyneema because it's ultralight. This is kind of a snobby thing to say, I think, but I mean, when you're in the ultralight world and when you're through hiking, you become a gram weenie. You start counting grams and ounces. So we all chase the proverbial ultralight minus, 10 pounds or less. Nobody gets there, but we all try. Anyways, good tent, good company. ZPacks, I am on the fence about. I've been a big ZPacks fan over the years, but I've had some issues with some of their products. But you know, you get that with anything. I will say their tents though are great. They're great. So that's my review of the ZPacks Duplex. I hope I covered just about everything. If I don't, leave me some questions in the comments below. I'd be glad to answer them, or even do a subsequent video on them. I think I covered most of it anyway, so we're not too worried about it. This tent is fantastic, guys, and it's not cheap. I think it starts at $650. If you want the thicker material, it'll go up to $700.